Okay, hello, Doofy here. As I always start with these streams, let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Let me know if you can see everything okay. Yeah. Today, what are we gonna do? Well, we're gonna do a little sort of relaxing VFR flight around Wales. We're gonna go over some of the mountain ranges within Wales and. Okay, hello. Shut up. Got my voice playing over behind the scenes here. Yeah, so we're going to do some flying over the Brecon Beacons in Wales, and then we're going to go in search for an area of Wales called the Mach Loop, which is where a lot of fighter jet pilots do a lot of low-level fast jet training. We're going to go and see how that is, so you can hear me fine. Excellent. So, welcome, guys. Good to have you all along, as always is the case. Now, I keep looking over here. For anyone who's new to the channel, I keep looking over here because this is where I've got my second monitor and I can see all my stuff behind the scenes. You can all hear me fine. If I sound like I've got a cold, that's normal. That's to be expected. So don't worry about that. Right. So what I'm going to do is just make sure I've got all of my sort of dashboard and everything set up over there, and then forget about that and actually get onto flying this plane. So, for anyone who's not familiar with this plane, this is the Cessna 172 by A2A Simulations, and God, there's burping and stuff here. And basically, it is so much better than the default Cessna that you get in FSX. It's so much more immersive, realistic. And I'm going to fly it, and you'll basically see and hopefully get a feel for it. I do know that the quality of my stream is really bad. Unfortunately, that's limited by the bandwidth that I have here, the internet speed that I have here. So I do know that the stream, like video quality, is going to be really bad tonight. But I mean, I'm kind of doing the best I can with it, so I do apologise for that. But anyway. So, which airport? So, at the moment we are sat at Cardiff, Cardiff in South Wales. Now, if I can find this window that I've got here. So this is going to be basically our flight plan. So we're starting off in Cardiff, down here in the south of Wales. And then we're going to fly north over the Brecon VOR here. So it's going to be a VFR flight, but it's going to be sort of instrument assisted. And then we're going to fly over this mountain range here, which is the Brecon Beacons, and hopefully fly directly over the top of Pen y Fan, which is the highest of the mountains in the Brecon Beacons. And then head out to the west coast of Wales, and then hopefully up around here we should be able to find the Mach Loop, or the Machynlleth Loop, I think it is. The Welsh have a weird language, but we'll talk about that a bit more as we get on the way. So this is a chart here for Cardiff Airport. So I'm parked up just by the terminal building here. I'm probably just going to make it nice and easy for myself. Just taxi down Alpha here, past Alpha 2, Alpha 1, and then just join on the display threshold and take off and start heading up towards the Brecon VOR. Try and catch up with the chat there. How's my holiday? It was fantastic, thank you very much. Holiday was really good. I literally just got back tonight. Got back at about 7 o'clock tonight. So yeah, it was really good, really good. I really needed the break out of London. So yeah, it was definitely worth the trip there. 911 is not the best number for a flight channel. Yeah, I mean the inspiration behind the number in my name was the emergency services, not and I did choose the name before certain worldly events happened. Fur aircraft? No, this is a payware aircraft by A2A Simulations. How did I first get started with aviation? I've been into aviation my whole life, really. But yeah, my dad used to play flight sim years and years ago, and I kind of started playing it then. But only recently I kind of took it up and treated it sort of seriously. Do I ever use Plan G? No, I don't. No, I don't use Plan G at all. Let me just... There we go. So I just got to keep an eye on the chat there as well. Right, so... The good thing with this aircraft is you get these kind of checklists as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ignore the chat for 2 seconds, and then just going to work through this checklist quickly just to get the engine started, and then we'll start taxiing and heading off towards the runway. So, and starting this thing can be a bit tricky, so forgive me if I don't quite get it first time. I might have to cheat and use the Control E shortcut to start the engine here. No, I just want the battery. Let's see, fuel pump. So that's how you prime the engine, is you start the fuel pump, you just give it a bit of mixture, and then get it started there. Propeller area clear. Let's see, we need the beacon light on, just to warn everyone nearby that we're about to start the engines. Wish me luck. Always happens. Hey, there we go. Right, so oil pressure's up, temperature will come up, that all seems to be good, amps are going in. Let's just start leaning that out a bit. Nav lights on, avionics can all come on. None of those should have been on by now, but okay, fair enough. And we'll bring the flaps up to 10. Cool. Let me also do that before I forget, because my first live stream that I did was in this plane on this channel, and I forgot to plug the bloody headphones in, so it was really, really loud the entire time. How come the stream is so late? Because I didn't get home until like 3 or 4 hours ago. So yeah, like I literally just drove back down to London from Scotland today. So that's why the stream is so late. And plus, I think most of my audience is all from about a third of my audience are from the United States. So yeah, try and catch a few people from the States, hopefully. Do I have a link for the Cessna add-on? I don't at the moment, but if you just search A2A simulations, you should be able to find their site easily enough. And they've got quite a few aircraft on there. They've got quite a lot of older aircraft, things like the they've got aircraft like the Spitfire. What else have they got on there? I think they do a P-51 Mustang, and they also do the Cessna 172 and also the Cessna 182, I think. So hopefully, I'm not endorsed by A2A, by the way. I genuinely love this plane, and I think this is an awesome aircraft, especially if you're if you're thinking of picking up a good aircraft to start off with, like your first kind of add-on aircraft, and you like flying general aviation or like small planes. I would highly recommend this one. Yay, one from Westchester, there we go. It worked. The late stream worked. Brilliant. Right, so I need to be going on to Alpha, which I believe is to the left. That's Alpha there. So yeah, I believe it needs to be turning left. I'm familiar with the Flight 1 Super King Air B200. No, I'm not. I've not got many Flight 1 products. The only one I've got is the only Flight 1 product I've got is the Garmin GTN 750 GPS unit, which isn't in this plane, but I've got it in another add-on plane that I have, which I absolutely love. That GPS unit, that's an awesome add-on. So yeah, so I'm definitely. I mean, I haven't got many add-on aircraft at all. I think I've got this Cessna. I've got the Just Flight T1 Hawk. I've got the Majestic -8Q 400 recently. I haven't had a chance to fly the Hawk or the Q100. And I've also got the Aerosoft Airbus A319-320. No, the Airbus a 318, 319, 320, and 321. So those are the only add-on aircraft I've got. Most of the add-ons I've got are all sort of environmental, because I wanted to make my videos look a bit prettier when I first made them. So yeah, all of my, or the majority of my add-ons are all environmental. How was my day? My day was it was all right. I spent most of it in a car, to be honest. It took me 9 hours and 40 minutes to drive from Scotland back down to London. So yeah, I mean, I've had better days, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, it kind of, there's no other way really to do it. I didn't really want to pay for for a flight, or a train journey is about 8 hours as well. So having the convenience of the car is pretty good. There we go. So runway 30. So I'm not going to worry about doing a power up check or anything. What I will do before I jump on the runway is do the parking brake. We'll do. Should have had the taxi light on, but do landing light strobes. Is it worth me doing stuff on the autopilot? How tall is Penny Fan? Yeah. I might use the autopilot before we get out, but what I will do actually before we go is I'll try and tune into the Brecken VOR, which is 117.45. Just listening out for the Morse codes just now, just make sure I've got the right one. Please play. Okay. Okay. Well, we didn't get any anything there, but the VOR needle did move. So we'll see. Okay. I think we'll be all right. Even though I didn't hear the VOR, didn't hear the Morse code there, I think we should be able to lock into it there. So parking brake out. Make sure you can go to full. I don't have any AI traffic enabled either, so I'm not going to worry about dealing with ATC or anything like that. So we've got someone from Houston, Texas. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? Southern California, nice. God, there's people from all over the states. I mean, you probably can't see it on my camera, on my stream there because of the bad quality, but if anyone's wondering, I'm wearing a Buccaneers jersey. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're my adopted NFL team. Do I fly real planes, or is it just FSX? It's just FSX for the time being. I do want to earn a PPL one day, but for now it's just all FSX stuff. And up we go. Probably should have been going through these checklists here, but that's alright. It's only a Cessna, it's not too complicated. By the way, with the engines revving that high, can you guys still hear me okay? Because I can adjust the levels if needs be. How long did it take me to learn the controls? Not too long. I mean, the actual act of controlling a plane isn't too complicated. It's like driving a car. Like, once you kind of understand the controls of a car, it's not too difficult, but the challenge then becomes kind of managing everything else around the car and like keeping an eye out for everything that's happening outside of the car. So actually learning the controls of a plane doesn't take too long. Maybe 5 hours at most. So yeah. how am I using or how am I doing the 3D zoom? Well, there's two controls. I've got a little hat switch on top of my joystick, which I can use to sort of look around. But for actually zooming, what I do is I just hold down the space button and then move my scroll wheel on my mouse in and out. So if you hold down the space button and then drag the mouse around, you can do the same thing. Gives you just a bit more kind of fine control with the view there. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start getting towards the Brecon VOR. It should be that there. So we'll head directly to the Brecon VOR, and then once we hit that, we'll head away from there on a radial of 330, and then that should bring us over the top of Penny Fan. And what I will actually do is I will use the autopilot, so I don't have to keep my hands on the controls the entire flight. See, the thing is, I can never... come on. Never any good with this autopilot, because this is like models the real autopilot, and it's not as simple as the one in the default Cessna. So you can see we've sort of leveled off there, and I can't remember how to. Oh god. Okay, right. I'll just leave the plane as it is. I'll read the chat. Wow, that's low quality. Yeah, unfortunately, it's the bandwidth of the internet here. I'm kind of stuffed by that. There's not much I can do about that, I'm afraid. Vertical speed. There we go. There we go. That's what I wanted. Flaps are up. Yeah, should all be okay. Landing light can come off. Yeah, we should be all okay. Uh, 350. That probably needs changing. Stick it on heading hold as well. Cool. Cool. Okay. Volume is perfect. Excellent. Thank you for letting me know, Weasel. Can hear me loud and clear. Christicizer, I think that's how you pronounce your name. Thank you for letting me know. Noam, you can hear me. Excellent. Thank you guys for letting me know. I do appreciate that. I seem to start every live stream with like, "Can you guys hear me? Okay? Is everything working? Okay?" So excellent, and it's fine even with the engine noise. Thank you, Rick Gann. Thank you very much. We've got Marwan. Marwan, is it Marwan or Marwane from Mississippi there? Oh, you're welcome, Hype. I'm glad you like my videos, and they're actually useful for something. I see helping people. I'm glad. Alright, so we're still heading in towards Brecon beacons there, hopefully. Yeah, so there's the Brecon VOR there. According to the GPS, we're not heading directly towards it, but we'll figure that out. So we'll figure it out some other time. Light sports license. It could do that, yeah. But I don't know. I prefer flying a real, like a full-on plane. What's the longest flight I've ever flown? Longest flight I probably flew was on the live stream. I flew from London Gatwick to Athens, because I went to Athens earlier on in the year for real, on holiday for like a summer holiday, and before I went on holiday, I kind of did like a virtual flight just to kind of see what it would be like. And I did that on the live stream, and that was I think 3.5 hours. So that's probably the longest flight that I've ever done. Certainly in FSX. That's certainly the only one I can think of that springs to mind. Yeah, probably 3.5 hours. Springfield, Missouri. Jeez, there's people from all over the states. Welcome, guys and girls, maybe. Mark's got to work. Well, enjoy work. Hopefully, Mark. thanks for coming along. And yeah, if anyone has to leave, this live stream should be up on my channel sort of tomorrow once YouTube's processed it and stuff. You probably won't want to watch it because of the bad quality, but it's there in case anyone does want to see it. David C, hello from Arizona. Yes, this is Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is Microsoft Flight Simulator X Steam Edition, if you want to be absolutely specific. But yeah, this is Microsoft Flight Simulator X. Gliding license. Yeah, but you can't really go too far with a glider. And plus, we don't really get many thermals in the UK because it's so cold at the moment. Weasel, what brand and model is my joystick? My joystick is a Logitech Extreme 3D Pro, although my one is about 10 years old. But I think they still sell that model of joystick. I think it's about £30, 30 maybe £40. Duchess, New York. Jeez, so I've got all of the Americans watching today. Gary V, yep, I agree. The A2A Cessna is a lot better than the default one. I absolutely wholeheartedly agree with that. Alright, I need to... so I'm just trying to head over towards this Brecon VOR here. Oh, there, yeah. Right, hopefully we should be able to track that a bit better now. Actually, unless, can I get the autopilot to do it? This is risky business, getting an autopilot to do the navigation. Because it tends to do that. It just turns and just does its own thing most of the time. Although that actually might work. Like I said, the autopilot in the A2A Cessna is like an accurate model of the real Bendix King KAP 140. It doesn't work anything like the default Cessna autopilot at all. So you know you can't just hit nav and expect it to work. Like you have to tune in and dial up your heading bug and stuff like that, and then I think it works. I have no idea, but yeah. So that looks like though that's gonna start tracking me into the Brecon VOR nicely. Excellent. Okay, back to the chat. Roger Mason, we are flying over the Brecon Beacons in Wales today, and then once we get over the Brecon Beacons, we're gonna go off on the hunt for the what's it called, the Mach loop, or more easily pronounced as the Mach loop, which is a set of valleys in western Wales where a lot of RAF fighter pilots do their low-level flight training. So we're going to go hunting for that today. Noppy, how's it going, buddy? Noppy. Mark, greetings from Germany. Wow, got people from all over. Welcome, Mark. Good to have you along. Do I like steam gauges or glass cockpit better? Honestly, steam gauges. I don't know why, but I just prefer having like this kind of classic. You know, I like modern steam gauges like these with all the different colors and more clearly which have more definition to them. Like I don't like the older style aircraft which are just pure black and white gauges across the board. I like having the like the speed arcs and the speed indicator here and all the rest of it. So, but yeah, I prefer steam gauges personally. Tiger Wares, welcome. Rick again. I do not believe for 1 second that I'm on a big screen. My live streams and my knowledge is not worthy of being in a bar on a big screen. Gonzalo, how's it going? How do you say hello in Spanish? I don't know. But thank you for coming along. I'm an IVAO member. No, I'm not an IVAO member. I've thought about it, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I might do start that in the future. Gary V, thank you very much for pointing out. Yes, I do need to lean the plane out a bit. Usually when I lean the plane, I do it by the exhaust gas temperature. So, thank you, Gary V, for pointing that out. Noam, I've got people from all over America watching. I've got Germans watching. I've got Spanish watching. I've got Israelis now watching as well. That's awesome. Chris, Tampa, Florida, Buccaneers. Come on, Chris. Yeah, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are my sort of adopted NFL team. Because I went to America in 2002, 2003. Whichever year it was, they won the Super Bowl. And I went to America on holiday. I went to like Orlando. I did all Disney and SeaWorld and like all the classic like touristy theme park visits and all. And like I was just starting to get interested in American football then. And sure enough... yeah, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won it that year, and they ended up doing their training camp at one of the Disney resorts, and we went over to like the Tampa Stadium, the Raymond James Stadium, to try and get like jerseys and stuff, and it was closed. But we went to me and the family went to like a kind of a fan shop, and then they said like the owner said, "Oh yeah, they're doing their training camp up in Disney. You should go and see them," and that's where we were staying. So it's just like, let's not go. So yeah, Freddie, are you the only British guy here? No, I'm British. Hi, I'm British as well. Autopilot in the A2A can kill just like real life. Yeah, I can believe that. QE2 for president. Yeah. I feel for you Americans right now. Can you just hurry up and get it over and done with, please? Like we in the UK, like I mean. It's not like everyday news over here, but like my Facebook page is just constant Trump this, Clinton that. It's just like, just get it over and done with, please. I don't want to be seeing that. Oh, where are we going? Oh, no. Hang on, are we at VFR already? We are, okay. So I want to be going out in this direction. So sort of 330 away from the Brecon VOR. Please work, plane. Please just work. Yes, it's gonna work. Right. So if I've got this right, that should be Penny Fan directly ahead of us there, and I really hope that's not Penny Fan over there. But yeah, hang on. I did see a comment about it. Roger Mason hiked the Brecon Beacons in the early 80s. Now, did you hike them as a civilian or as someone else? Because like one thing I was going to talk about as we fly over the beacons was that yeah, a lot of the British Special Forces do their training on this mountain range. So yeah, I was going to talk about that a little bit as the stream goes on. Nearly froze to death. Yeah, I can believe that. I mean, I was born and raised in the Scottish Highlands, so I was kind of like surrounded by mountains and hills and cold. Sven, greetings from Belgium. Greetings from London. How's it going, Sven? Noppy had me on the projector. I'm sorry to hear that. He got my ugly face and annoying voice that I apparently have a cold 24/7. Are we tagging along in a single engine? Yes, we are. We are tagging along in this Cessna 172 by A2A Simulations. Lovely little plane. Love it. Roger's the one from Austin, Texas. Awesome. Memphis, Tennessee, checking in. St. Louis. Chris go Bucks. Yeah, we lost to bloody Atlanta though. Was it on Tuesday? Was it or Thursday? Bloody Falcons. I mean, Chris. I mean, if you're probably like, how are like Tampa Bay? Are they improving? Because I know they were struggling like a few years ago. They were really struggling, and then like they picked up, what was it, Jameis Winston, I think his name is. I mean, I like watching American football, but I'm not like on top of it 24/7. Wayne, Atlanta Falcons fan here. Get out, Wayne. Yeah, like I really like American football, but I don't kind of keep on top of it. Like I don't know every story for every team. But you know, I just think it's like just find it a fascinating sport. Um, you know, when I was like younger, when I first got into it, I was like kind of amazed by just how like physical it is and how brutal it is. And like after kind of learning the rules and kind of looking at it a bit more and finding out a bit more about it, I understood like how kind of tactical it can be, and it's just like it's pretty clever. And like seeing like how teams can kind of design plays to like throw off the defense or offense of the other team or whatever. Yeah, it's quite an interesting sport. It's a lot more. Yeah, you have to be like very clever in American football. Johnny, yeah, get over the thing, yeah. Ah, Roger, okay, he's a civilian. Oh, that's a shame. I thought we might have had a former special forces in our midst, running over the Brecon Beacons, doing the fan dance and all. Next week I'm doing the Mach loop in the Tornado. No, I'm not. I've got, although that said, I do have the Just Flight T1 Hawk. I picked it up at Cosford a few weeks ago. However, I haven't had any time to like really learn it yet, and like practice flying it at all. But pardon me. I think for a future live stream, I definitely will be taking the Hawk, which is essentially what all RAF pilots train in. Pardon me. Yeah, the trainer plane for jet pilots in the RAF. I'll probably take that through the Mach loop. Let's have a look here. Allentown, Pasadena, is that PA? Pasadena, Hamilton, Ontario, Pittsburgh. Jeez, guys, I'm all over. No, what kind of add-on scenery am I using? There's, pardon me. There's, well, sort of three which are kind of creating or giving this view of the world right now. I've got UTX, which I think is Unreal Terrain X, and that gives the world its kind of its mesh or its kind of 3D shape. So that's what gives all the hills and the mountains more like definition and like different ridges and all sorts. With that, I've got Gex, which is Ground Environment Extreme, and that kind of just improves like the basic textures on the ground. Just kind of again makes it look a bit more, gives it a bit more sharp. I think it also improves what's called the land class, which basically means that lakes that you expect to see in the real world are actually where you would find them in the real world. Roads are placed in their real world location, towns are placed in the real world location. So I think it improves that as well, which is really useful and really helps with VFR flying. That said, apparently there's a road. Oh, no, that's a stream. I thought that was a road just going into a lake there, which would make much sense. And then the last one that I've got for the atmosphere and like the clouds is Rex, Real Environment Extreme, which kind of gives me all like the different cloud textures and the kind of the atmospheric haze and bits and pieces there. Pardon me. Do I have a PPL, or am I planning on getting one? I would like to get one day. I can't afford it just now, but one of my big sort of personal goals is to earn a PPL, and not just a PPL. Like if I can, I would also like to go on and learn like the what's called the IMC rating, the where you can actually use the instruments, so you can fly in bad weather or at night time, and also get a night rating as well, so I can fly at night. Was that fuel leaking in the outside view? No, we still got plenty of fuel on board. Got a question about ILS landings. Excellent. If I want to hit the approach button as high as possible, How do I know how far and how high the ILS can reach? I don't know. I think ILS. Oh god, I don't know what the range on an ILS system is. Hey, let me just jump outside so we can. Ah, no, I didn't want to do that. Whoops. Where's the cockpit? Spot view. Have a look across the the rest of the Brecon beacons there. I'm not sure what the range of an ILS system is. Generally speaking, I don't think you'll ever be in a situation where you'll intercept an ILS more than 10 miles away from the airport. But I'm not sure what their kind of maximum range would be. Because normally, either air traffic control or if you're following an approach, that would kind of bring you into the within the sort of a 10-mile radius of the airport. So I'm not sure. I can't. I'm not. I don't know. I'm afraid. I don't know what the kind of the maximum range of an ILS system is. As high as possible. I mean, the only if you're going to be letting the autopilot handle the approach, the only factor that you need to be certain of is that, well, one, you're in line with the localizer, which kind of tracks the center line of the runway. So you want to make sure that you're either, within like a kind of like a narrow cone of that, or you're kind of on a path that where you're going to intercept that. So you're flying kind of towards that extended center line, and then obviously once the plane kind of reaches the signal, it will turn and line up with it. As for height, all you want to do is just make sure you're underneath the glide slope. I think the general rule of thumb that I use is to be at 2,000 feet above airport elevation at 6 miles out, and then you should intercept the glide slope at that distance and at that height above the ground. I think, yeah, it sounds about right. But I don't know about maximums, I'm afraid. Sam, where are we at? We are currently flying south to north over Wales. We've just kind of gone past the Brecon beacons there. We took off from Cardiff. We went northbound towards the Brecon beacons mountain range. We just flew over what I hope was Penny Fan, that kind of peak there, and I hope it's not one of the taller peaks over there. So we should have just gone straight over the top of Penny Fan, which is the highest mountain in Wales, I believe, at, I made notes here, 2,907 feet or 886 meters. And we're just going to fly north now. We're going to try and find the Mach loop, where RAF pilots do a lot of their low-level training. Let's have a look here. Why do I control airflow in the Cessna? What do you mean by that, Gonzalo? By controlling the airflow? Whoops. So I just want to make sure that everything's alright. You're still tracking. Very good. So what should happen is I'm expecting us to reach the kind of the west coast of Wales, and then we'll fly north for a couple of minutes, and then we should be able to find the group of valleys which make up the Mach loop, hopefully, if my dead reckoning is working. Let's have a look at the GPS here. Let's really try and make this a bit bigger. I'll make this very big so you guys can see, hopefully. Yeah, we should be intercepting just around. There's a little patch of water there, so we should be okay. Hey Jester, how's it going? Good to see you here too, buddy. Mikey, Falcons fan, Bucks fan. Live in Lincolnshire. Oh, nice! Congrats, Mikey. That's awesome. What are you going to be doing in the RAF? Um, that's awesome. By the way, guys, let me know if the stream starts playing up, because I've started getting some warnings on YouTube saying that it's going to start buffering in a second. So yeah, let me know if the stream starts playing up or anything. Doof actually means stupid in German. Yeah, well, yeah, that's me. And deaf in Dutch. Does it really? Does doofer mean? Is it doof or doofer? Means deaf. I mean, because I think for British people, like, we never really use the words doof or doofer in Britain. We're more likely to say doofus, or probably Americans would say it as well, doofus, which is like, yeah, again, idiot or stupid. Calling someone an idiot or stupid, you're calling them a doofus. But doofer, I think the where I got it from was, like, if you want to, like, try and describe something but you can't think of the name of it, like, you just say, like, if you want, like, the remote for the TV but you can't remember the word remote, you say, can you hand me the doofer for the TV, sort of thing. It's just like a word, like a random word that you give an object that you can't think of. And yeah, I think if you try and look up the dictionary definition of doofer, like, the dictionary definition is like an unspecified or an unnamed object or so. So yeah. So I mean, that's where I got it from. It's just I couldn't think of a decent name, like, from an online kind of gaming alias or anything. So I just doofer. And the 911 was inspired by the emergency services number, not by worldly events. Blues, yeah. I hope that was a decent answer for you. I'm afraid. I mean, if you want some more information about ILS systems, I would recommend just, like, jumping onto Wikipedia or something, and you can read about the specifics and the details of it then. Because I know I've done a video on ILS. I've done ILS landings and ILS categories, but I've never talked about the specifics of, like, the radio antenna, how the antenna is set up, and, like, how they throw out the radio signal and how planes can lock onto it and stuff, because it's just way above my head. I only cover, like, the fundamentals and the basics of things, because I'm a doofer. Let's see. Sorry, I keep losing my place in the chat here. Rel, have I ever tried flying DCS? Yes, I have. I've actually got a video where I done, like, a kind of just a muck about in DCS 1.5 when it was first released. I'm not. I want to play more of it because I think it's a really, really good simulator. I think it's, like, it looks really nice, and I think that, like, the handling characteristics, even with the default planes, are really, really good. And obviously, it's combat, it's military, it's exciting, but yeah, I just can't quite find the time to, like, commit to it and like kind of having to study an entirely new simulator. But I do want to fly more with DCS. Why do I control the mix of the fuel air? Okay, the fuel air. Well, basically, there's two reasons. One, it makes the engine more fuel efficient. Yeah, it's just flying more efficiently, so you use less fuel the higher you go. And the other reason is it's also to do with engine cooling, because the fuel actually acts as a coolant. So the more fuel that you feed into the engine, the cooler the engine is going to run. But I think the main and then you have to, like, do, like, a little balancing act. You have to kind of reduce the amount of fuel you put into the engine, but not reduce it so far that the engine starts losing performance. So it's a tricky balancing act. But the basic reason is because it's more economical. You save more fuel by what we call leaning it out. So you just kind of reduce the amount of fuel that you're feeding into the engine. You use less fuel. You can fly further, fly for longer. Yada yada yada. All that. Save the world sort of stuff. Doof means death. Doesn't mean anything else. Right. Okay. Well, that's quite appropriate then, because I did have some ear operations when I was younger. So, common we do use doofus a bit. Yeah, there you go. When did I start getting into aviation? Oh, jeez. I've been fascinated by planes ever since I was a young kid. Flight simulation I've been doing seriously for about 2 years. Although I used to play it as a kind of a game. Many years when I was a young kid, I used to my dad used to play it and try and understand how to fly a plane, but me being only 6, 7, 8 years old, I just saw it as a flying game, I never done it properly. I never understood how to navigate or do procedures or anything like that. So, but yeah, so doing it seriously probably about 2 years. Now, what I want to do is I want to lose a bit of altitude. So I've got the drama of trying to figure out. There you go, vertical speed minus 200, and then down to 3,000 feet. Excellent. Pardon me. Hola, in Spanish. Jeez, of course it is. Thank you, Gonzalo. Thank you for that. See, the thing is, I wish I knew just the basics in different languages, but in my defence, I did drive nearly 600 miles today, so I'm a bit sleepy. Hey, from Australia. Just 1 minute. Chasley. Sorry, Chasley. Welcome. What time is it there? It must be about midday there, is it? Some of my biggest fans are from Australia, actually. That's awesome. One in a Million Gaming. This is FSX. This is FSX Steam Edition. Yes, it is. Yeah, sorry. I'm just seeing catching up with the chat just now. Yes, this is Microsoft FSX Steam Edition. John Coles, I'm glad you like the tutorials. Thank you for watching them. I really do appreciate it. Growlman, North Carolina, how's it going? That's the point. How are the Panthers doing? Are they playing just now? I'm really surprised that the Panthers haven't been playing too well this season. Although I think a lot of their games have been quite close. They just had some bad luck, but like I say, I don't follow American football too closely. I like watching all the highlights and stuff, but like I say, I don't follow it sort of day in day out, unfortunately. And yes, your second question there. This is the A2A Cessna 172. What I will do, because believe it or not, I actually trust the autopilot now, so I'm gonna jump outside, and we'll get a spot view. Get this side of it there. Yeah, I wish the weather was just nice in the UK at the moment, and it really isn't. Ramon just entered the stream. Where are we going? We are flying over Wales just now. We've took off from Cardiff in South Wales. We flew north over the Brecon Beacons mountain range, and we're flying now towards the west coast of Wales to try and find an area of Wales called the Mach Loop, which is where a lot of RAF fighter pilots do their low-level training. Basically, it's a series of valleys which kind of end up creating a rudimentary circle, and a lot of fighter pilots do low-level flying through there and train for low-level flight there. Just 1 minute, 11 AM. Alright, I guess you guys didn't do the whole moving your clocks back and forth like we do in the UK, because we went from British summertime back to regular GMT a couple of weeks ago. The AvGeek. Hi, hello, hi. Um, how do I like FSX Steam? Yeah, I like it a lot because I used to use the like old boxed version of FSX, and that worked really well. Like all of my add-ons worked really well with that. Hang on, I just want to check what speed I'm doing. Um, yeah, I used to use the box version of FSX, and that, as I said, that worked really well. But the Steam edition, I noticed, just seemed to run a lot smoother. Um, and I believe that Dovetail Games, the publisher, they made like a lot. They put in a lot of like the standard tweaks that you do with the old FSX. Like they tweaked some of the core codes to get it to run a lot smoother. My first impression of the game was that it ran a lot smoother than the original. So yeah, I liked it. I to be honest, I prefer FSX Steam just because it seems like a more stable, a much smoother version of FSX. So Gonzalo, just reading your comment there. Yes, I know that. I'm not sure if there's certain packages of Rex which do have like a weather engine as well. Um, Basically, what Rex does is it just replaces the sort of the sky textures and the clouds textures. Rex doesn't actually like create the weather in the game. However, there are some Rex products which do have like what's called a weather engine, which does generate weather in the game. Um, but basically, what you can see just now are just basically textures. Like all of these clouds are Rex textures. So you got some high altitude clouds there and some lower ones there. Um, so that's yeah, that's what I use Rex for, and obviously you can see it kind of gives the what's called the atmospheric scattering, which is the kind of the haze effect at a distance as well. What's the highest altitude I've ever flown? My Cessna. Not too high, maybe 8,000 feet. Yeah, it's not too high. I've not done anything crazy with it, unfortunately. Although, no, I think maybe 10,000 feet. Yeah, I did 10,000 feet for like when I kind of like had a finale to my tutorials, um, where I kind of like I felt like I'd kind of reached the end of like covering the basics of flying a small plane like a Cessna. So I kind of had like a finale, and I think I flew up to 10,000 feet for that, flying into the sunset, sort of classic movie ending type thing. So yeah, maybe 10,000 feet is the highest I've taken this plane. Grauman, what recording software do I use? I use OBS. I used to use NVIDIA Shadowplay, but I don't know what happened, but either FSX had the amp with Shadowplay or Shadowplay had the amp with FSX. I don't know what it was, but when I when I had Shadowplay enabled, FSX just wouldn't start. It would just keep throwing up these DLL errors or something, and it kept pointing back to an NVIDIA DLL file. So I switched over to OBS because it was around the same time I was trying to get into streaming and trying to figure out how to live stream, and I realised that OBS can also record videos as well. So I now use OBS to record any and all videos that I wish to make. I should make an FSX Steam multiplayer server for it. I could do. I mean, I couldn't run it personally off my computer with my internet connection, but I might be able to like maybe hire a server for like a short amount of time. So yeah, we'll see. Steve, welcome to the channel. Glad you like the videos there. Am I using Senior add-on currently, Timmy? Yes, I am. I'm using three main add-ons I'm using are UTX. Yeah, some of the other guys they were saying UTX, GEX, which basically give the land more shape and more definition and make it all look prettier, and Rex, which makes the weather look prettier, essentially. um, Sorry, I don't know how to say your name there. Aguilar.inc, I think that's how you say your name there. What's a good entry level yoke and rudder setup? Probably I would say Cytec. They do like a yoke and pedal set. I mean, it's still quite expensive because it's kind of like a specialist piece of hardware. Um, so probably set you back over $100, maybe $150, $200 for the yoke and the pedals. But Cytec, I think, are the sort of the entry level for flight simulation controllers. So yeah, have a look at Cytec. FlyX, how's it going, buddy? What are the conditions of my computer? If you mean like the specs, I can never remember them, but basics are an i7 processor, NVIDIA GTX 780 Ti graphics cards, 16 gigs of RAM, SSD running the operating system, 2TB hard drive running everything else, and I think an 850 watt power supply, I think it is. Will I do any other live streams with an A3281 or 737? Yes, I do need to prove that I can fly an Airbus A320 family plane properly, so I will definitely be doing more live streams in their bigger jets, and I am also looking at picking up the PMDG 737 soon. So I've got a couple of other planes I want to figure out how to fly first, but yeah, I definitely have my eyes set on picking up a PMDG aircraft. Right, we are getting close. We are getting close. I believe the Mach loop is in there somewhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out of nav mode and put it into heading. We'll stay at 3,000 feet for now because I don't want to bash into these mountains, basically. Yeah, 1 in a million. On the multiplayer, the original, I think, GameSpy multiplayer service doesn't work anymore, but I think Dovetail did something with it for their Steam edition, and you can't play multiplayer on FSX Steam edition. Heading. There we go. Javier, am I a real pilot? No, I am not a real pilot. I am simply a flight sim enthusiast. Dr. Mindpro, hi. Hi. I see your message there. Let's see. Yeah, FlyX. I'm in the Cessna again. I think I want to fly the Airbus again, like really soon. But like, tell me, guys, like, can you see the instruments clearly? Can at this kind of zoom level, can you guys like see the instruments? Can you read the numbers and stuff? Because that's my main concern. Is I'd love to fly the Airbus again, but like I'm worried that I can't produce like with my internet connection, I can't do a high enough quality stream so you can like read the gauges, so you can see, like, you can make out what I can see and like maybe get an idea of what I'm looking at. So yeah, so let me know if, like, I mean, the quality. I know the quality's bad. Again, I'm kind of limited by like the speed of the internet here and the bandwidth and all. So, but definitely, if guys don't mind, if you guys don't mind having a slightly dodgy, quality stream, I will happily do, do an airline flight again. Right, now that we're coming up to the Mach loop, I want to just try and find it on the map again here. So we've got this little patch of water here, and then it should just be behind that. So I'm guessing that patch of water is that there. So we'll go for a little romp up this valley here, and hopefully we can find the Mach loop. I've been watching videos of it all week, so in real life I know what the Mach loop looks like, but we're approaching it from the wrong side, if that makes sense. So yeah. Can I do a tutorial on landing a Mooney? Yeah, Moonies, because they're a lot they fly a lot faster than the Cessnas, so I mean, I can't really recommend anything differently. It's just maybe look at the checklists that you get with the Mooney. It should hopefully give you a general approach speed. And yeah, like what I would just as I like the basic kind of landing technique is just as you pass over the threshold, pull the throttles back to idle, and then just like slowly begin to flare the plane and let it just settle onto the runway. If people are desperate to see one, I can do one. But yeah, the actual technique is not too much different to doing a Cessna. How can I get the Rex, UTX and Gex? Oh jeez, yeah, I think it was from Flight 1 that I got everything there. Dr. Mind Pro seems to be happy, good. He's been noticed. Do I recommend studying aviation these days? Yeah. I mean, if it's something you're interested in and something you're passionate about, then yeah, do it. Because, you know, you can study aviation and become a pilot. You can study aviation and become an engineer or a maintenance guy. You can become a ground crew guy. You can become air traffic controller. You can become a dispatcher. There's all sorts you can do with aviation. So, if it's something you're interested in, then yeah, absolutely. Instruments are good quality. Oh, really? Oh, awesome. Okay, well, yeah. In that case, yeah, I'll definitely do that because. Obviously, with the airliners, like you've got computer screens which have like text on them, yeah, okay, well, that's all right then. FlyX, I think you just need to go to Specsavers, mate. Everyone else is saying it's all right. You should get War Thunder. I do have War Thunder. I've played it a couple of times, but I struggled to get into it, so. Yeah, I mean, I've got War Thunder, but I mean, my first impression of it wasn't that great, if I'm going to be honest. So I haven't really played any more of it. But I don't know. I might visit it because this is like seems to be like a flight sim based channel now, and there's a few other like kind of aviation related games I want to play on here. But we'll see. Voice is dying. The Irish Fries. What flight sim am I running? This is Microsoft Flight Simulator X Steam Edition. Right, I think the Mach loop is down there somewhere. I'm pretty sure the Mach loop is down there. Or to give its official name, the Machilith. Bloody Welsh language, I can never... Machynlleth. It's okay, it's spelled Machynnlleth. If you guys can figure out how to pronounce that, kudos to you. And please try and figure out, please like type it in the chat and let me know how it's pronounced. Because I cannot figure out the Welsh language to save my life. Dr. Mind Pro, it depends. It depends what you consider to be interesting or boring. Some people, I mean, to be honest, I don't treat FSX as a game. Like I've said, like I've said earlier, one of my personal goals is to earn a private pilot's license, and I for the past 2 years, I've been using FSX more as a tool to study aviation, how planes work, how you learn how you navigate, and so hopefully, if I'm ever in a position where I can afford to go and study for PPL, private pilot's license, then I should hopefully know most of the stuff already. So and yeah, like some of the comments there is like some people prefer, playing quote in a simulator because it's a more accurate representation of a particular subject. So, this is a flight simulator for people who want to learn about flying. You got people who like playing, Forza Motorsport or Burnout or what other, like Trackmania for racing games, which are all brilliant games. And then you got some people who want to play racing simulators like R Factor, iRacing, and things like that because it's a more accurate representation of racing. So it's personal preference, really. Oh, thanks for the comment, David. I've just seen that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Do I watch Mayday air crash investigation? Yes, I do. I've watched a few of them. I can't remember specific flight numbers or anything, but I've watched a few of those kind of air disaster documentaries and bits and pieces. So there's a few that I know of, and there's a few flights that kind of stick in my mind. Train sim as well, yeah. Yeah, I did when I was a kid. I did play the original Microsoft Train Simulator as well. Yeah, so I mean the thing is with the train simulator is that it scares me because the game itself is about £20, £25. And I remember looking at all of the DLC available for Train Simulator, and it comes to like £3.5 worth of DLC. It's just like you have to be really committed to train simulation. But some people are. I mean, I remember where was I off to? Yeah, when I was on my way to Gatwick Airport to go on holiday in August. I remember getting to Clapham Junction, and there was a little group of train spotters there, with cameras, and notepads, So, there is a market for train enthusiasts. So, yeah, build it and they will come, I guess. BAW British Airways 38. Was that the one that landed short at Heathrow? I think I remember you telling me about that one, FlyX, or was that the Heathrow landing short one? Ryan, great stream so far. I'm glad you're liking it. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that. Any future plans for the channel? Yes, there's quite while I was on holiday, I've actually got quite a few ideas for the channel. A lot of it is going to be sort of behind the scenes stuff, and. I want to go through and it's all the rubbish little silly bits and pieces. For example, on all of the videos that you upload to YouTube, you have a section called tags or metadata. So basically, it's you give your video keywords and that. So if people are searching for a particular keyword on Google, the idea is that you kind of attach keywords to your video so that your videos come up in search results in Google. So I want to go through and just smarten up all of my keywords on all my videos. So it's all behind the scenes rubbish that you guys won't be interested in. I got a few ideas now for future videos as well. It's funny because because I think my runway markings video went viral, and that's why the channel's grown so much in the past week. And a lot of comments, a lot of comments from people saying, "Did you have a cold when you made that? Your voice sounds weird. Like, what's your accent? Like, did you have a blocked nose and stuff?" And that, like, I was kind of a bit, like, it didn't bother me. It's just like, you know, out of everything that I did, like all of the time and effort I put into that video, the one thing you take from it is the sound of my voice. but it gave me a fantastic idea for a video. And so, as a flying condition, it's a condition that people sometimes get when flying called barocyanitis. And it's something that I've experienced myself. It's basically when the plane's descending and you get excruciating pain in your head because your sinuses are blocked. Yeah, so I'm going to do a video about that, and because I think I might have found ways to prevent that from happening. So I want to do a couple of videos, or no, a video on barocyanitis, because I'm hoping that will reach and help a lot of people who suffer from that. It is the worst experience I've ever had, barocyanitis. Like basically it feels like someone's taking like a 6-inch nail, jamming it through your upper teeth, through your cheek, into your eyeball, and then up into the top of your head many times. It's a horrible feeling. And then other future plans. As I think, as I said in my vlog the other day, I want to try and start covering a few new topics as well. But there's still a few things there. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I do have some plans. A lot of it's going to be just behind the scenes work. A lot of it's going to be trying to like expand my channel and kind of get it out there as such, and get the channel more exposure and bits and pieces. Because, as I said in my vlog, like I would really like to go full time with YouTube. This is something I'm passionate about. Is like doing my own videos and kind of being my own boss is something I really enjoy. So yeah, so going full time with YouTube is something I'm going to try and work towards and push towards. And so yeah, basically there's a lot of like behind the scenes work that I can do to kind of facilitate that and bring that forward. Regardless, sorry, I just need to ignore the chat for a second, because I think this is it. I think we have literally just passed over the Mach loop. I think it is just down there. So what I'm going to do is fly a little bit further forward, and then I'll disable the autopilot, and then we'll go in for a low pass. It's not going to be as spectacular as a fighter jet going through, but it's something at least. I think we found it. So maybe I need to go down and have a recce in case I want to do a future video going through the Mach loop in a fighter jet in FSX on the live stream. Because I do like doing things on live stream. I flew, yeah, what was it? One of my, not my last live stream, but I think the live stream before, the live stream I did before I left my flat. I flew a fully loaded Boeing 747 under the Golden Gate Bridge, upside down. Seriously, I did. So, yeah. So I think I can manage a fighter jet going through the Mach loop here. 777 landing short Heathrow, yeah. Gonzalo, no, I haven't flown a real Cessna, although I never made any announcement about it. 2 seconds. Freddie, going to sleep. Thank you for coming along, Freddie. I really do appreciate that. No, I haven't flown a real Cessna, and I didn't make any mention of it, and I haven't recorded any video. But I actually went for a trial flying lesson this week. On Wednesday, I flew a Piper Tomahawk up in Inverness. I had a 1 hour long trial flying lesson, and that was really cool. Just disable the autopilot there. Yeah, so I've flown a couple of hours in a Piper Tomahawk. I flew one when I was a teenager, about 10 years ago, and yeah, as I said, I flew one on Wednesday. I booked myself in for a trial flying lesson up in Inverness, and I flew in Piper Tomahawk on Wednesday, which was really really cool. It's quite funny though, because the weather was quite bad, so I pretty much spent the entire flight dodging clouds. Essentially, that's what my trial flying lesson was. But yeah, to like actually be in a real plane and not do it virtually here is something really cool. Is awesome. Like, and I've said this before, but I would recommend to anyone, if you can afford to, go and do a trial flying lesson, because it's the coolest experience. Being in control of even a small plane like this is the coolest experience. The Sausage, one awesome name. It could stop you from getting your medical certificate. Yeah, possibly. I think that's why I never followed becoming a commercial pilot. One, because I couldn't afford to. Two, because I've got something wrong with my eyes. I've got a mild form of colour blindness, so that would stop me from getting the Class 1 medical that you need to become a commercial pilot. Plus, I've had ear operations because I had burst eardrums when I was a kid. So, like, basically, all of the significant senses that you need to be a pilot have all been messed up when I was a kid. But, like I say, you can kind of offset barossinitis with like just over-the-counter like decongestant medication, and I've found that it's helped me in the last couple of commercial flights that I've been on as a passenger. So yeah, so I believe this little gap here is the Mach loop. So if you go to YouTube and like search Mach loops, you'll see a ton of videos of fighter jets passing through this very gap in these mountains, and usually the photographers are sat on top of this kind of hillside on the left, just here, and then you have the fighter jets will come barreling up, and then they tend to, depending on how fruity the pilots feel, sometimes they just kind of skim over the top of this hill on the right, and other times they'll kind of they'll fly towards this the hill on the left, and then kind of go for a hard bank, and then go over the top. Obviously, in a fighter jet, you'll be travelling a lot faster than this, but it's kind of through here, and then they dive down into this valley and over that lake just ahead. And then I believe there's another valley to the left, just behind that lake, and it's got a particular name. It's something corner, and then they'll usually turn left behind this lake, and then you can follow the valleys around, and it kind of they go in a loop, like it goes like the valleys kind of form a circle. That's why it's called the Mach loop, and you can kind of come back to it to where we just passed through. Just a bit of fluff there. So yeah, so this is it. This is the main valley of the Mach loop. Worst language. Never mind. Flying the Cessna 152, about 30 years old. Yeah, the Piper Tomahawk that I flew was in a it was in a bit of a it could do with a lick of paint, I'll say that much. It was literally, it was the first flight of the day. Like the instructor had to like literally pull the thing out of the hangar to begin with, and I looked at the plane there, and like all of the paint around like the engine intakes and the engine cowling was all like cracked and peeling and stuff, and I was just like, are you sure we want to be taking this plane out? But it's but yeah, I mean, like I say, it's such an awesome experience, like, because for me, like, you get like a true sense of freedom. Like, you can take the controls of the plane and go anywhere with it. It's such a cool feeling, and like you get all like the bumps and you feel the turbulence and stuff, and you just don't get that sitting in front of your computer at home. So It's really exciting. It's really good fun, and as I said, I would highly recommend to anyone to save up some money and go and do it. For me, it cost me £165 to do a 1 hour lesson. Is it this valley we go down? Oh, I'm going down this valley. It cost me £165 to do a 1 hour lesson up in Scotland. I'm not sure how much it might be down in England. Obviously, near London, it's probably a lot more expensive. Yeah, but it's worth it. It's so worth it. Yeah, well played, Gonzalo. Yeah, I would love to fly. I would love to try a Cessna 172 in real life as well, but yeah, as I said, like my main sticking point just now is I can't afford it. But hey-oh. Having tried the real thing, how did you or your instructor find the training with FSX helped? Yeah, my instructor said that he used to play FSX quite a lot in the past as well before he became a pilot. But he said that like if you can learn a lot of the basics through FSX, and he even demonstrated one of something that like you'll probably never experience, like a couple of things that you'll never experience in a simulator. And one is we actually flew through a cloud. He deliberately took control of the plane and flew into a cloud, because when you're in a plane, when you're turning and like when you're just sat in the plane, like you're getting bumped about by turbulence and stuff, and it's fine. But when you're turning, if you're in a proper coordinated turn, you actually feel like you're being pressed into your seat. However, if you're in a cloud, like the plane could be turning, and you'll just be feeling like a little bit of weight in your seat, and you'll think that the plane is just flying normally. You don't realize it's in a turn. Like it feels like the plane is flying straight and level when it's actually doing something like this. It's in a turn. Now, if you're in a cloud and you can't see outside and you don't realize the plane is turning, you could end up pointing in completely the wrong direction. So, luckily that's not something that anyone who's going for a PPL needs to worry about. But it was bizarre to like sit in the plane and feel that sort of thing for real. That was really kind of surprising. And the other thing that you probably don't get in a simulator is ground effect. I don't understand ground effect fully myself, but it's kind of like when you're coming into land or when the plane is near the ground, like there's almost like this kind of cushion of air underneath the plane, which makes the plane kind of float a little bit more. It gives it like slightly more lift when it's near the ground. And like again, that's something that you would really struggle to simulate. So when we came in for landing, like he let me like fly the approach and landing. And like just as we were like, I was flaring, like I felt like I was flaring over the runway forever, because of that ground effect. So yeah, it was really cool. It's like you've got to try it. Anyone who's done flight simulation and loves flying, you've got to try doing it for real. It's just the coolest thing. Sven, you're a fighter pilot. Oh, that is so cool. Oh god, I need to be on my best behaviour now. Now I realise I've got a fighter pilot watching. Jeez, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like the thing is in Cessnas, you could just go for like it's just like going on going for a drive in a quiet, country roads. It's just it's just a relaxing time, really. Yeah, the controls in the plane are really heavy as well. But it's like driving. It's like if you want to turn, like you don't really have to like pull hard on the controls. Like you can just kind of like just kind of put a bit of extra weight into your hand and the plane will turn. The only thing is, in real life, you want to make sure that you know how to trim a plane in real life. Otherwise, it's going to be like holding like a barbell, like a weights. If you don't trim the plane, you're going to be like holding onto these controls for like an hour. And it's just going to tire you out. But that's why you can trim a plane, because it kind of like when you trim the plane, it kind of takes, certainly for pitch, it takes like the weight out of the controls. So that's why you want to learn how to trim a plane, basically. Now, now that we've gone through the Mach loop, I want to try and find. There's an airport somewhere that I want to try and find. WPL, I think that's it. Okay, let me just bring up my charts here. Welshpool. It must be that. Ah, whoa, it's got a VOR. Oh, nice. Okay, let's just zoom in here. 115.95. Okay. Alright, let's fly back to Welshpool. So 11. It was 115.95. I've forgotten it already. Did I get that right? So guys, I'm getting tired, so 115.95. It's not finding it. Okay. Never mind. We'll just use the GPS then. Welshpool 01 100 110. Go to 110. Right, so what I'll do is I'll get the autopilot back on. Come on, autopilot, you're making me look bad. Altitude. There we go, okay. We'll roll the heading round to, was it 110? So I'll head over to, there's a tiny airport called Welshpool that I'm going to head over to, and we'll land there, and I'll probably end the stream shortly after and land back there. Is the leverage of a sentence sticking gliders? Yeah. I do want to try flying a glider actually. That sounds like that'd be good fun. Vertical speed, more of it please. Now that I realise that we just turned towards a mountain. Alright Gonzalo, have a good one mate. Military pilots are the most chill. Oh, thank God for that. Yeah. Oh, the thing is, with like I remember watching a video of a British Eurofighter Typhoon pilot actually doing some low-level flying and flying through the Mach loop, and the guy is narrating every single action he's doing and everything he's looking out for and thinking as he flies. And he's like so calm. He's just like, okay, we're taking it down to 250 feet. We're checking ahead. Weather is clear. No other traffic. So down at 200 feet, altitude warning reset. Okay, and we bank hard to the left, bank hard to the right, over the top, and back down to 250 feet. It's like how, like the speed at which he can process things and commentate what he's doing as he's doing it, as he's flying a fighter jet at 450 knots, 200 feet off the ground, through the Mach loop, those valleys. It's just like mind-boggling. But yeah, I guess once you guys have a day off, I guess it's all good fun and laughs. Hey Ken, do I run X-Plane? Yes, I've got X-Plane 10 at the moment. Not spent too much time with it, but I do have X-Plane 10, and I will be getting X-Plane. What? No, altitude, please. And I will be getting X-Plane 11 when it's released. Hopefully. Flykes is off to bed. Sleep well, buddy. Catch you later. So how do I know if a plane is turning in the air or not? You can tell by looking at this instrument, which is called an attitude indicator. Basically what this does is this tells you if the plane is tilting backwards or forwards, or if it's turning or rolling left to right. So if you can't see out of the cockpit, like if you're flying at night or in bad weather, you can usually tell what the plane is doing by having a look at this instrument here. Pardon me, keep burping. And plus you'll also see the heading indicator will be turning, your turn coordinator will be given, tilting as well. So you've got these three instruments here which will tell you if the plane is turning or not. Oh, that's a question, Sven. What planes do you guys use? Yeah, which jets do you guys have? I'm curious to know, because I know that certain air forces use certain planes. So yeah, I'd be curious to know what planes. So was it Belgium? You're from Belgium, Sven. Sorry if I remembered that wrong. Yeah, I'd be curious to know losing my voice. What planes you guys have? Like, well, specifically what fighter jets you have, or fast jets. I'll keep an eye on my GPS now, because that's what I'm. 120. Okay. Hey Harry, how's it going? Sorry, I'm going to start going quiet soon because I can feel my voice is starting to strain a little bit. SD, no, this is not X-Plane. This is Microsoft Flight Simulator X from Steam at the moment. I do have X-Plane 10. If people are desperate to see X-Plane 10, I can load it up. It'll take a few minutes to load, but I don't mind showing it. Yeah. So yeah, let me know if you guys want to see X-Plane 10 very briefly. There will be very briefly because I'm starting to get tired. For anyone who hasn't seen the stream earlier, basically I drove about 600 miles from Scotland back to London today. I got in about 7, and yeah, now I find myself sitting down in my chair back at my computer again. So I've been I spent the entire day sitting down, concentrating, in control of a vehicle. So yeah, I'm getting tired. I'm getting delirious, more like. But I've got a very big bottle of Lucozade to keep me going. I'm surprised I've managed to last this long without having to dip into this. Yeah, that's right, sausage. Yeah, yeah. I found myself glancing down at the instruments quite a lot when I was flying for real, but yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's because when I practice, when I did my early videos, I tried to be very strict on myself. If I was going to do a steep turn, I wanted to make sure that I kept my vertical speed near 0 through the entire turn. So I kind of got into the habit of just focusing in on the instruments. Whereas for a PPL, you're only going to be allowed to do VFR flying with a PPL, so that all of that is looking outside of the plane, looking at mountains, looking at roads, looking at landmarks and stuff. So altitude discipline and vertical speed discipline isn't massively important. So that's kind of one thing that I needed to kind of get over was if the pilot says just fly over there in that direction, don't think, right, what heading is that? I need to hold that heading, because you're going to get thrown about by the wind as well anyway. So, yeah, just don't get too strict with it. Don't be too hard on yourself when you're flying VFR. You know, it's meant to just be fun. Okay, let me. Just don't want to spill my Lucozade here. There you go, that's a nice view. I'll have to jump out of this view soon because I don't want to go straight past the airport I'm trying to land at. Hey Shane, how's it going? Pardon me. SD, is that X-Plane 10? And if so, are you using a joystick to control the plane? SD, if you just let me know if that's definitely FSX or X-Plane that you're talking about, because I can certainly do an X-Plane video, it's no problem at all. I'm kind of holding off doing X-Plane videos until X-Plane 11 is released, but I might do one in X-Plane 10 as well, because I know a few people might still have X-Plane 10 and might not be upgrading to X-Plane 11. Fat Space talking about the lights there. I don't. I think. Oh, it was another flight simulator that I talked to a few times. Stigron. He said that I think the lights in FSX are textures rather than like emitter particles. That's why the lights are a bit weird. So I think I mean I'm sure there's like mods and there's fixes out there for the lights. But yeah, I think the main reason is because lights are treated as textures and not particle emitters, I think. Or is there something to do with that? Something along those lines. That's why the lights are a bit funky. Although that might just be like runway and airport lights that he was talking about. I'm not sure. But I mean, I see what you mean. Like, you know, if we try and have a look at, well, you guys probably won't be able to see it, but like if you look at the tail light on this, like you can see this kind of like just orb which sits behind the actual physical model, and like the beacon light on top of the tail there as well looks a bit funky. And this is like a high quality add-on as well, so I don't know. I think it might just be the way the sim is coded. Voice is struggling. What am I drinking? Lucozade right now, because I'm tired and I need the sugar to stay awake. Right, I need to jump back into the cockpit and find out where this airport is. It's over to the right now. Huh? Is it really? Apparently it's over here somewhere. What I'm also going to do is start descending. That's the point. I need to check what the altitude of this airfield is. Above mean sea level, 249 feet. Okay, it's not too bad then. We can afford to come down to about... Let's head down to 1,000 feet. Apparently the airport is over here somewhere, but I can't see it. Oh, is that it there? Ah, found it. Found it. Awesome, okay. Well, if this plane hurries up and loses altitude, then get down much quicker. That's what I'll do, is I'll take it to the left. And what's the runway heading? Because I think the winds are calm, so I don't need to worry about that. 22. Okay, good. Right, let's flick this around to 22 there, so I know what direction the runway is. And just as we're coming down there, I'll just put the mixture to rich, put landing light on as well. Just get all this stuff out of the way before I forget. Yeah, should be alright. Sorry, chat. Heated Ham, you are welcome for the tutorials. Thank you for the comment. I'm glad you like them. Probably burping there. Damn, Lucasade. Ah, Marchetti. That's the the little propeller trainer plane, isn't it? Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Leju Bexons. Are you planning to do some tutorials in the Q400? Maybe. I do have the Q400. I've not had a chance to sit down and fly in it yet. But yeah, I am looking to try and learn how to fly that Dash 8, and maybe I'll do some tutorials on it. I know the flight management computer's a bit funky in that plane, so I do plan on doing a tutorial on flight management computers. So yeah, I'll definitely look at that. The green Shoki, comment ça va bien, merci. Et tu? I think that's right. Do I watch any motorsports? On and off. I used to watch Formula 1 a lot, and then nah. I like watching I watch MotoGP occasionally. Motorsports, not particularly. If it's on TV, I'll watch it, but I don't really watch much TV, to be honest. So yeah, I'll just if there's any sort of motorsport on, I'll watch it. I don't really have any preference or anything really. As I said, I used to watch and really follow F1 closely, but it's just getting a bit silly nowadays, so I don't. Am I flying only the 172? No, I like to fly an Airbus A320 or an A319 quite a lot. Jacob DB, is anyone training for in real life flying? I am. Let's see. Alright, sorry guys, I'm gonna probably miss a few comments in the chat. I just want to make sure that I get this landing. It's not a big runway. It's not in Venice, so I need to make sure I do well here. I don't have any. According to the chart that I had there should be poppy lights here, but apparently not. So all I'm doing just now is I'm just getting the flaps out, trying to just trim the plane, because the nose keeps wanting to drop just now. So just trimming the plane a lot. And by the way, my instructor said that I had a very good approach when I flew the Piper Tomahawk in Venice. That's one thing that actually I was surprised was, if you're dealing with crosswinds, the way you kind of manage a crosswind approach, or a slight kind of slightly sideways approach, the way you would react in flight simulator is the same as you need to react in real life. So that was one similarity that I found surprising. But yeah, we should be down nice and easily here. Just gonna actually go to idle now. So we don't have any. How ironic! My runway markings video is my most popular video on the channel, and I land at a runway that doesn't have any markings. Ow. Okay. And we're down. Bring the flaps up. Let's see, landing light can come off. Strobe light can come off. Lean the fuel out a little bit. Get the throttle back up to 1,000 revs. I'll just head off to the side of the runway and park and leave it there, I guess. Since I was really smart and landed at an airport that doesn't have any parking areas. Anyway, right, so let's see, lights. God, I can't remember how you finish up one of these. Radio's off. All that can come off. So I think yes it does. Pull the fuel. Lights off. Lights off. Lights off. Must review lights off. Battery off. That's off. Done. Flight completed. And this, the Cessna 172 from A2A Simulations. By the way, I don't get paid to say that. Anyway, right, so, as is customary after I land, I usually stick around and chat with you guys for a little bit longer, so, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to stick around and I'll chat with you guys for a little bit longer. Elton Hove, 12,180. I had 1,000. How do I feel? It's crazy. It's just, yeah, like the sudden influx has just caught me way off guard. I think YouTube kind of just like took one of my videos and just like put it on everyone's suggested videos, and from that I've now, like, the channel is like doubled in size in the space of about 4 days. It's ridiculous, but yeah. Anyway, sorry. Let me just run up the chat quickly and catch a few more comments. Yeah, I'll talk about the channel's growth in a bit more detail in a second, if I remember. Jacob DB, do I have a pilot certificate? No, I don't. I'm simply an aviation enthusiast. It's here. Am I going to do more tutorials? Yes, I'm going to do more tutorials, both in FSX, both in X-Plane, and some also on some more like just general topics within aviation as well. The dead zone, flying a plane and playing on the internet at the same time. Is that me you're talking to, or Jacob DB? How have I learned proper procedures? Just Googled them basically. Like I learned like the very basics of learning to fly, like how to control a plane. And then from there I learned like different procedures, you know, and like it's kind of like a journey of discovery. Like you come across something like you have aviation charts or maps. It's just like, okay, well how do you read these charts? Like what do these icons mean? What do these notices and all sorts of different bits and pieces on the chart mean? And then you just go, you read into a bit more detail, and then you learn about it. And then I just made videos sharing what I've learned basically, and that's how the channel's kind of grown. Do I challenge myself to fly at nights and use ILS landings? I don't fly at night often. I'll happily take on bad weather, daytime bad weather, and because I'm fairly confident with VOR navigation, so I'll challenge myself occasionally. At the moment, my main challenge is just trying to get like the procedures for like a jet airliner down, like the Airbus, trying to kind of understand how to do things in that plane and in what order. Like if you look at some of my old live streams, you'll see that it always seems to be on the approach. Like I always have drama with the Airbus. Never crashed it, but I always have drama with an Airbus on the approach. So SD would like to see some X-Plane 10 tutorials. Well, I shall certainly do some X-Plane 10 tutorials then, because yeah, I'm really, my first impressions of X-Plane are really good. So yeah, I will definitely do some more videos looking at X-Plane in the future. Actually, I do have. I'll make a note here right now. I've got my notepad with all my notes for this video. X-Plane 10 tutorials. It will be added to my official to-do list. Beautiful landing. Thank you very much, guys. I'm glad you liked it. it always like I never liked the landings because it's like it always seems like a hard thud, like you get the squeak in the tires as well. But I'm glad you all liked it. um, what books do I use for ground school? I don't have any official books. Literally everything I've learned was through Google, and through like a lot of like the descriptions that I use on Wikipedia. Because I start off each video with like, today we're going to learn about ILS. What is ILS? ILS is Instrument Landing System, and then like I'll copy an excerpt from Wikipedia and like put a link in the video there. So I kind of start off with Wikipedia, and then I go on like if I just type into Google, what does ILS stand for, and just read through all the different pages that come back and like try and get some information from different people. Read a few different descriptions. A few different perspectives on a particular topic, and I just kind of build my knowledge that way. Noah, what's my favourite airplane regardless of flying in simulator? Oh god, I have many favourite airplanes, there isn't one that I like, I love the Cessna because it's nice and small and simple. I like, your kind of, I like the 777 because it's massive. I like the Boeing A380 because again it's massive. The 747 because it's a classic. I like the Eurofighter Typhoon because it's just awesome. I like the American, like the Boeing fighter jets, the F-14, the F-15, the F-22. I like all sorts of planes. The only kind of category of planes that I'm not too keen on are like your kind of classic older planes. But any other plane, I don't really have a favorite as such. So yeah. Green Sharky has to leave. Okay. Merci beaucoup. Bon voyage. Mon ami. Is that friend? I don't know. Get some real trimble. Can do. Yeah. Good landing. All right. Night night, Renee. SD, thank you very very much. Aguilar. Some of the revenues towards my PPL. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, my main focus at the moment is building like a stable, just continuing to build a stable YouTube channel. Basically, at the moment is my main priority because I've had this like sudden spike, but now the channel's gonna kind of drop off and like come back to its kind of like it's gonna like settle down again. So I've got the spike from this month and like all of the interest that's come through this month and all of the new subscribers, but that like all of the sort of the stats and that I'm going to see are all going to like even out again. It's all going to like just settle down and like it's going to be kind of constant again. So so my priority at the moment is just building like a stable channel that's kind of will continue to grow slowly. And I've got a lot of like ideas behind the scenes work to make that happen. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, 100,000 is gonna be like a massive thing for me. Hopefully, I can get there. But yeah, like as I say, like I've got like plans for the future. Like I want to like start covering a few more like subjects and a few more topics. Because I did start a tutorial. Like I did start making a few tutorials for racing simulators as well. So I might come back to that. But like I said in my vlog the other day, like I want to maybe look at space flight or rocket science as well, which would be quite interesting. I could use Kerbal Space Program for that. It could be quite fun. So yeah, I mean yeah, with regards to my second channel, which is I started the second channel, which is going to be more of like just a general gaming channel. I'm probably not going to put as much time and effort into that now that this channel kind of exploded. So Yeah, so I'll have to decide what I'm going to do with that second channel, but I don't think I committed to doing 3 videos a week on that channel, but I think it would make more sense to focus on this channel rather than the other one there. If I was on the airline and the pilot died, if there's a pilot on board, what would I say? I would say that I've got experience. I've got 2 years experience flying in a home simulator. Um, I would say I know the fundamentals of flying. I can sit in the cockpit and comfortably recognize what instruments are where. So I would say, look, I know how to fly a plane. I'm not a pilot. I don't have a pilot's license, but I've flown them in simulators. Um, I have knowledge of how to fly a plane. I would step up, and if there was a real pilot on board, or like someone who does have a PPL, I would let them, take control, and I would, back them up as best as I could. Um, Doing X-plane, yeah, definitely looking at, yeah, definitely look at X-plane videos as well. Am I able to get an income stream from YouTube? Yes, I do get some ad revenue through YouTube. So basically, anytime you see an advert displayed on someone's video, they get a tiny amount of money for having that advert displayed on their video. Basically, YouTube takes like companies approach YouTube and say, we want to advertise something on your website. YouTube go, okay, that's fine, we'll do that. Um, if you pay us, let's say $1 for for every 1,000 times that we display your advert, you pay us $1, or something. It's too late to try and explain this, but basically, YouTube take about 50% of that kind of money, and then they give the other 50% to the creator, whoever owns the video, like whoever put up the video. And if you add all of those videos together and you add thousands of views together, like at first you only get like maybe 1 or 2 cents per month when you very first start, but the more videos you create, the bigger an audience you start getting, the more you can kind of like feed the audience back to your older videos and get them watching more of your videos. It kind of just builds and builds, and then you start seeing hundreds of views become thousands of views. The 1 or 2 cents become 10, 20 cents, and so it just slowly builds up over time. It's not the most profitable way of getting money, but you can earn money through YouTube videos. So yeah, no, it is possible, but I am looking at like other options like Patreon at the moment, which should help me, because I've had a couple of people approach me saying, can we donate a bit of money to you just to say thank you for all of the work that you've done? And I was just like, well, no, I mean, my videos are there for free for a reason. But if people want to donate, I'm thinking of setting up a Patreon page. But again, there's benefits and kind of rewards that you have to think of, and I don't have any ideas at the moment for that sort of stuff. Let's see. So I'm just trying to catch up with the chat here. SD, am I an expert or just experienced? No, I mean I'm just a flight sim enthusiast. So I've basically just been like I've said earlier. One of my big life goals is to earn a PPL, and I kind of use flight simulation as a training tool essentially. So I've read about learning to fly. I've read about procedures and bits and pieces. So I've been doing this for about 2 years regularly, and that's how I know what I know now. Okay, we're discussing the emergency situation there. Stephen, well played on getting or working on your PPL. yeah, best of luck with that. Hope you pass your exams and all first time. That'd be epic if you do. Um, D-Burn usually plays in the 737. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking of picking up the PMDG 737 soon. So I've got a couple of other planes that I want to learn to fly first. I've got the Hawk T1 from Just Flight, and I've also got the Majestic Dash 8 that I want to learn how to fly. So um, yeah, look at that. F6 Steam. How many hours have I logged? Not too many actually. It's only about maybe 150, but I've got plenty of hours unrecorded from FSX Boxed Edition that I used to play before FSX Steam Edition. So I'm probably looking at maybe 600 hours total, I would guess. Um, yeah, so still talking about pilots dying. Brilliant. How do I know what instruments do what? Just read about it. Basically, you learn each one. I'll cover each one because I've got a sneaking suspicion that Etsy's quite new to flight simulation, so I'll do a quick rundown of the main instruments. So basically, when you first start flying, there's only 6 instruments you need to know, and that's these 6 in like the center here. These are like they call them like these 6-pack instruments. Like you don't need to worry about anything else. Just concentrate on these 6. Basically, you have an airspeed indicator, which is like your speedometer for your plane, tells you how fast you're going. You have an attitude indicator, which tells you if the plane is like tilting up or down, and also if it's rolling left or right. Mainly used when you can't really see out of the cockpit, like I can't now because it's fogging up. Open the window, sort that out. At the moment, because the engine's off and like the mechanisms that run these instruments aren't working, it looks like it's broken, but it's not. Then you've got your altimeter that basically tells you how high off the ground you are, and it kind of works like a clock. So you've got the big hand will move quickly. Each number represents 100 feet. And then you've got a smaller arm which represents thousands of feet as well. Turn coordinator, you don't really actually need to worry about that too much as a beginner. Heading is just basically like a compass, 360 degrees. Basically shows you what direction the nose of the plane is pointing. And then you've got your vertical speed, which tells you how high or how fast the plane is going up or going down. And it's basically those instruments that you need to know to begin with. Hey Malafor, how's it going? I'm afraid you kind of caught us at the end of the stream there, but good to see you, Malafor. Good to see you. Let's have a look here. Yeah, I mean, time was an issue. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the challenges that I've had with my channel is because I've been working full time on top, and having this channel on top of that as well. I could have easily had like 2 videos out per week. And if I do go full time with YouTube, that's the kind of the schedule that I would set myself to begin with, doing 2 videos a week, like 2 tutorial style videos a week. Because I love to learn. And I love to like kind of discover new things. So, but given like that I've been working full time, it's just trying to work full time, and I mean I haven't been able to kind of like produce the videos as quickly as I would like to, but I need to work to live basically. Hey, Australian Aussie flight simmer. How's it going? I'm afraid you've caught us at the end of the stream. I'm just like sat doing my kind of like after post-flight chats with the stream at the moment, but I'm glad you're here, so thank you for coming along. For anyone who's joined in the stream late, the live stream will be on the channel tomorrow. In a few hours, hopefully, once YouTube's decided it wants to process the video. So you can check out the flights and everything from tomorrow, or yeah, probably tomorrow would be best. I'm getting tired now. I'm like I can't think straight. Let's have a look. Are you talking about flying lessons? Good stuff. Is 1 week really ideal? I mean, because like I said, like I started a second channel, like, and I was gonna like just kind of do a lot of relatively easy to produce videos on there, because because like some of the big YouTubers I watch are guys like Nerd Cubed and Jacksepticeye. These guys are like can just churn out, just turn out like one video a day, 2 videos a day, and they've obviously grown huge audiences because they generate so many videos. Because I know that YouTube really prioritizes the watch time, like how many minutes worth of video can you generate, like how many minutes worth of viewing time can you as a creator generate. That's kind of what YouTube seems to be going after just now. That's why I wanted to try and create a second channel releasing more regular videos. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like I mean, yeah, I'm too tired to understand like how it all works at the moment. But I know that one of YouTube's key metrics seems to be like the amount of kind of minutes of viewing time that you can generate as a creator. Like to see me fly an Airbus one day. Well, maybe the next live stream I do, I'll fly an Airbus, because I've been doing a lot of practice with it off camera. Because, like I said earlier, if you go back and look at some of my old live streams, like I always struggle with an Airbus. But I've been doing a lot of practice, off camera with it, and I think I've just about got the hang of it now. So I might maybe for my next live stream I'll fly an Airbus. I'll take it somewhere I've never flown before. It should be good fun. Daily Do channel. Well, yeah, I mean the second channel was I did plan for it to be a more sort of personal channel, so I was going to do like vlogs, and I've got like, as I said, it's like a sort of more general gaming is there as well. So I've got a few like I've got a couple of Rocket League videos on there. I've got Counter-Strike videos. I've got Fast and Light videos on there. A couple of vlogs, a couple of like motivational chat type rubbish. So yeah, if anyone's interested, it's called Da Crazy Doof, DA Crazy Doof, shortened to DCD. If anyone's interested in seeing me playing some other types of games, it should be there. PPLHs. When will I stream again? I'm not sure. I'm not sure when I'm going to stream again yet. Maybe because I want to get back into like my making proper tutorials again. Because I like the channel's like grown so much, and I felt guilty because I was on holiday, so I couldn't produce like any proper videos for this weekend. That's why I'm doing this live stream now. I might do a live stream midweek. I might do one maybe Wednesday night or something. Tuesday night I'm busy. Wednesday night I could do. Thursday night I could do. Yeah, I might start doing like a regular midweek live stream. Ideas. Well, we'll see. I mean, it won't be too long, and I'll put like an announcement, or I'll create the event a few days in advance, so people get a chance to see it, and if they can come along and watch it. PMDG 777. I definitely do want to fly that plane. I'll probably get the 737 first of all, but then again, like 737 is just a slightly different Airbus. So I might go big and get the 777, because I've got my Airbuses to do sort of short haul, like regional flights. I might get the 777 actually. Ooh, tempting, tempting. Thanks for the idea, Elton. I might just do that. Oh gosh, the chat's rolling by so quickly now. Trying to follow and keep up with it all. All right, Ozzy, thanks for coming along. Just seen you saying goodbye there. Helicopters, yeah. That's a point. Can you get trial flying lessons in a helicopter? Because I'd love to try that as well. The kitty. Am I using a joystick? Yes, I am using the. I don't know if your comments even aimed at me, but I'm using a Logitech Extreme 3D Pro. The one I've got is about 10 years old, but I believe Logitech still make it. I think it costs about £30 or £40. So yes, that's the thing. Alright guys, I think I'm going to start wrapping it up here because I am really tired. For anyone who's like joined the chat late, doesn't know, I literally drove back from Scotland back down to London today. Yeah, 560 odd miles, nearly 600 miles, and I am knackered. I'm really knackered. I've been sat, just focused at control, for it was 9.5 hours to drive. Just sat, driving, focusing. Yeah, so and then I come back, doing the live stream where I'm sat focusing on the plane and focusing on the chat there. So yeah, so SD, yeah, a yoke is like, it's like a steering wheel for a plane, but you can kind of like push it in and out of the instrument panel, and that tilts the plane backwards and forwards, and then if you turn it left and right, that rolls the plane from side to side like that. Leave the stream up so you can talk about stuff. Right, okay, will do. Right, yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up there then. I'll leave the stream up for another like 5 minutes or so, so you guys can talk about pilot stuff, exchange phone numbers and whatever. Yeah, and see. Cool. Right, I'm gonna leave it there, guys. So, yeah. Thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. It's good. I love doing these live streams because I get to kind of chat to you guys and I can answer questions and all sorts. And hopefully you find that the flights that I do, like over the Brecon Beacons and mountains and things like that. Hopefully you guys find those interesting. Yeah, the next live stream I do, because the quality, you guys are saying that quality isn't completely awful. So I think the next live stream I'll do will probably be in one of the Airbuses, and I'll probably I don't know what route I'll fly yet, but I'll probably go somewhere I've never been before. But yeah, keep an eye out on the channel because I'll probably schedule an event like I did for this live stream. I'll probably schedule an event a few days in advance, and yeah, then we can go flying in an Airbus. So for now, thank you all very much for watching. Take care out there, and I will catch you all later.